propane stove has a number of safety features. And if you don't know about all of them, you might think your stove isn't working when you can't get it lit. Hey, I'm Carolyn Sherlock, and on this episode of the Boat Galley Podcast, I'll share the basics of a propane stove and how to light one if you've never done it before. Now, today's episode of the Boat Galley Podcast is sponsored by Marine Depot Direct, your source for affordable, quality stainless steel hardware. Upgrade your boat with marine-grade stainless steel hardware and accessories such as port lights, deck hatches, through hulls, and more. Make your boat restoration easy and affordable. Use code BG15 for 15% off your first order. MarineDepotDirect.com. Affordable stainless for your boat. New to using a propane stove? If you're not familiar with them, and particularly their safety devices, you can think that the stove doesn't work, when in fact it does. Let's talk first about the Thermocouple. Propane stoves have a device called a Thermocouple that shuts off the propane flow to a burner if it isn't lit. This is really important so that if a burner blows out or you accidentally bump a knob and turn the burner on without lighting it, propane doesn't flow or leak and create a fire or explosion risk. Think of it as a tiny valve that opens when hot and closes otherwise. It'll fail closed. It's right beside the burner, and the burner heats it so it opens, and thus the burner stays lit. Okay, that's great when the stove is lit. But how do you get it to open in the first place when you're lighting the stove? You push the burner knob in. You light the burner, keep holding the knob in for 5 to 10 seconds. Pushing the knob in will open the valve, and you have to hold it in long enough for the burner to heat up the thermocouple so it'll stay open. If you release the knob and the burner goes out, you need to hold it in longer on your next try. Okay, the next thing to know about is the solenoid. It is, most often, a switch or push button near the stove, and there's usually a light to show when it's on. It's a 12-volt switch that goes to a valve very near the propane tank. The solenoid is normally closed, and it will fail closed for safety. It's pulled open by an electromagnet when you turn the power to it on. That way, the propane can flow. Almost all boats are equipped with a solenoid, and you must turn it on before you'll be able to light the stove. You have to also make sure that the propane tank itself is open. It's the screw handle on top of the tank. Turn all the way counterclockwise to open. So how do you light a propane stove? Well, there's 6 steps to it. First, make sure that the tank is on and isn't empty. Turn the solenoid on if it isn't already. Turn the burner knob to the start position. If it's not marked and you don't have an owner's manual, turn it to high. If you're using a long-nosed lighter, light it and hold it next to the burner. Push the burner knob in and hold it. Propane will start flowing immediately, and the burner should light immediately. Count to 10 and then release the knob. Make sure the burner stays lit, and then you can turn it to the desired setting. Now, many propane stoves, especially newer ones, come with push-button lighters. Some work well, others don't. Many require batteries, which can go dead. In short, don't be surprised if the built-in lighter on the stove doesn't work. On our boats, plus all the trips I've done on charter boats and on friends' boats, only one has really been reliable. Keep one of those long-nosed butane lighters on hand. Now, if you're using a built-in lighter, you may have to press the button 2 or 3 times in quick succession. Now, if that doesn't work, release the stove knob and try again using the butane lighter. You don't want to let the propane flow very long without it lighting. It's invisible, but it will puddle and be a fire or explosion hazard. Hope this has helped you some with your knowledge about propane stoves, and hope you have a wonderful time whenever you decide to cook on yours. Please tell your friends about the Boat Galley Podcast, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks.